Hi, this is Quan Skinner, and in this demonstration, I'll be using OWASP ZAP to simulate real-world web attacks in a controlled environment. I've created a test bed using Kali Linux and VMware Fusion with OWASP ZAP as a vulnerable application. The agenda discuss background information, what it does, how it works, the usefulness, the shortcomings, and a video showing how it works. OWASP ZAP is a free and open source dynamic application security testing tool used for identifying vulnerabilities in web applications by acting as a proxy, intercepting and analyzing traffic between the browser and the target application. This tool was developed by the OWASP Foundation. Written in Java, it is designed to help security professionals, developers, and testers during development and testing phases. ZAP acts as a man-in-the-middle proxy between the browser and the web application, allowing it to intercept and modify requests and responses and simulate common web attacks. ZAP can passively and actively scan for vulnerabilities and perform both automated and manual vulnerability scanning, identifying common web application vulnerabilities like SQL injection, cross-site scripting, and broken authentication. There are two primary ways to use ZAP: in GUI mode, manual testing, or API, daemon mode, automated testing. Usefulness with DevSecOps pipeline for automated security testing, manual penetration testing for web applications, QA test environments doing security regression testing, security training labs for practicing ethical hacking, bug bounty prep simulating attacks on personal test beds. It is commonly used with vulnerable test applications like OWASP ZAP, Damn Vulnerable Web App, and WebGo. The key uses is detecting vulnerabilities like SQL injection, cross-site scripting, broken authentication, insecure cookies and headers, and sensitive data exposure, analyzing HTTPS traffic, intercepting and modifying requests, performing fuzzing on inputs, and automating scans with APIs. While ZAP is powerful, it does have a few weaknesses. It can miss complex vulnerability. It lacks native support for mobile apps. The API mode setup can be tricky and fragile, very tricky. Scans can be noisy or produce false positive. The session handling or login can break scans without proper setup, and is not as advanced in certain areas as commercial tools like Burp Suite Pro. Now to the video. I'll demonstrate the attack types: SQL injection, cross-site scripting, and broken authentication. For this video, I did have to run several commands and install what I needed for the project. After the preliminary steps, I launched OWASP ZAP in Terminal 1 using commands, as you see on the screen. This simulates a real-world e-commerce type of site vulnerable to common web exploits. In this terminal, ZAP is loading up. After ZAP loads up, I go to Quick Start, Manual Explore, type in the local host and the port, and I'll launch the browser, and the app opens up. The web page opens up. As the web page opens up, I use an SQL injection payload for the email address, and I made up a password for the password field, and it granted me access without a valid password, showing that it's vulnerable. After that, I navigated back to ZAP to see that it intercepted this request. As I click on localhost, rest, user, it shows me logged in as get to response, and it shows me logged in as the administrator. Then on the next test, I navigated back to the site, ZAP, that was open through ZAP. I go to customer feedback, and I enter the malicious script. I executed the feedback. I go to photo wall. And in photo wall, I upload a picture, and in the caption, I also inject that malicious script. After that, I go to the search box and I also inject the same script. And this time, the alert of cross-site scripting pops up. I navigate back to the Zap app to check and see if the requests were caught to be identified. As you can see in the request folder, it was caught. And then I will navigate to the photo that I upload, and it shows that it was detected as well within the site's information. Next step, I navigate back to Zap and I log out of the admin profile, and I simulate me creating a regular profile. And once I create the regular profile, I will navigate back. I will log in. I do log in first. And then I navigate back to Zap. And using Zap, I manually edit a request and replace the token with an invalid one. I selected all, request editor. I changed the authorization token, and despite me changing it, it still worked. It's broken authentication. Now I will exit out and I will show you what it was supposed to do. As I go back in, I go to a different section of the token, just delete some files, send, and it gives me an error message. This demonstrates how the OWASP ZAP can be used effectively. Find serious web vulnerabilities in a controlled environment using both manual interaction and automatic scanning.